Hey, Lorelle. Seems that you run rogue a lot. Um, I don't, know exactly what your qualifications are. A little bit of background, as I know that DHS lies. They make false statements. They cooperate and coordinate with the DOJ and the judge to spin a narrative in a way that can be manipulated for the narrative can be manipulated in a way that fits the agenda. Okay. So I take umbrage at it when you intervene in visits and cause distress for something that has no reason to have your input. Okay. So when my wife goes to visit the kids after the setup, and I want to set you straight about something. You people cause incredible trauma to my wife. And then you completely sidestep the issue of trauma, except when you are doing trauma clinics for yourselves, and you call it dysregulated. Okay? That's how perverse you are. You're a whole vile bunch of people. Okay? And you need to be reminded of that. You need to be told that because I get texts from women all over Oregon on how your organization is brutalizing them. So it's not like this is a one-time thing. And you make it very clear that you hate me and you hate my wife. She's 10 times the mother that you'll ever be. Okay? Let's just get that straight. This is personal, very personal with you, Lorelle Gould, because you keep jumping in and you act like one of these, and then you pretend you're not. Okay? You keep jumping in and interfering with visits when they're already in a stressed situation. All right? So, my understanding from what Michu has told me is that she would go to the DHS building where she feels threatened, where she feels that everything she says and does will be distorted, and that you will make it as hard as possible at 6 years and 9 months for her and her visits with her children. And I want this to be on a record because I want people to know, and I'm going to make these videos more often because I want people to know just what kind of individuals you are. It's a kind of terrorism on your part. You're terrorizing this woman. So you made up the BS thing about the rat poison at the farm and then canceled visits for 4 months. That was BS. You had no evidence. If you would have had evidence and been concerned, you would have called poison control and had the kid's stomach pumped. But you didn't do jack because you knew it was all bullshit from the beginning. But you used it. Sara does this. Actually, Sara Hernandez does too. She's a poor excuse. And Sarah Scott does it. You all do it. You've always done it. Aubrey Haverkost. You got the other video. You have the list of all the lowlifes that work in your organization. And Michu has her farm visits taken away because you set up a provocation. You didn't like the way she responded when she's traumatized. It's not dysregulated. It's how you cope with assholes. That's what it is. Okay? There are a few countries in the world where you could get away with what you're doing. All right? Because you're not man enough or woman enough to be honest with people and professional. You're not professional at all. Okay, so Michu and my son Ango and my son and my daughter Apum and my son Alum and Ape go to the DHS building with Michu, not where she wants to do the visit, because it's a building full of assholes, okay? And that's just a basic. So why would anybody want to go there? I go down to the Civic Center because guess what? There's a couple of guys, a big room, chairs and tables, and the wallpaper does not reek of assholes, all right? Bitches. It doesn't reek of it, okay? So I enjoy it. It's like we could have done this a long time ago instead of coming to that shithole building where all you do is abuse families, okay? You march them in there like prisoners to look at their kids in a cage, all right? You have to have some idea what it's like from our side of the picture. So she goes in there for the visit. And my understanding is that Jesse, from what she told me, Jesse, who is an advocate, and Hannah go in there with her because she requested that 2 people be with her for support because of how little you can be trusted. Okay? And so you start harassing them. And from what Michu said, you pull Hannah out and tell her apparently that she can't be there in the visit. All right? So you're telling my wife that Hannah, who went there to be supportive of Michu, that you have a problem with that she's not even good enough for a service dog, that she doesn't even make the rank of a service dog. That's what you're telling Hannah. Who are you? What's your credential? What do you produce in life? What? Show me. You cause trauma. That's what you produce. Okay? That's what you produce. That's what you specialize in, trauma. Because every time my wife has to deal with you, it's traumatic. All right? DHS building is not a neutral space. If Judge Hill wants to go with that nonsense, if he's that illiterate on the issues of trauma and what you've done to this woman and what he's done to this woman for almost 7 years, what can I say? All right? So you pull Hannah out of the visit, okay? Because you got to do something antagonizing. You just can't say, okay, you and Jessie are with Michu, and that's what she wants and she's comfortable with. You guys enjoy the visit. What kind of demonic possession would cause someone to have to pull rank on a situation and screw with the mother that's come in to visit with 2 wonderful children? Look at the contrast between you and your personality and Ape and Alum, 2 wonderful kids. Okay? You're like a rogue office. Nobody likes dealing with you. You're like a rogue office. In April, I mean, either she's opposed to what you do and she can look at this video, the shitty little stuff going on, or she consents to it. All right? So when she goes in there to visit her kids, she doesn't take like some stranger off the street. She takes 2 women, 2 mothers in there with her to visit with her kids so that she can feel safe. So obviously she doesn't feel safe at your building. All right? Lorelle Gould, don't you get it? She doesn't feel safe at your building. All right? And you have to go in there and screw with it. Okay? I'm not a lawyer. And I don't play with these bullshit rules and, you know, DHS is DHS and you can't change what they do. Fuck that. Okay? You're just an asshole. I work with all kinds of professionals, people that have boats that cost more money than in your entire life income. People that are pilots, they're professionals of every kind, doctors, dentists, everything, and nobody acts like you act, okay? And they get along fine with me because I'm there to take care of their needs, to make sure the boat is safe, to make sure everything's working properly, to alert them to problems, to solve problems. That's what I'm there for. They have wives, they have husbands, they have kids. It's all about safety and making sure that at the end of the day, everybody has a good time, okay? I don't go onto their boat and then start fucking with them right away, okay? And then get my workers to lie. Oh, Matthew, he stuck his finger like right the fuck in front of my nose, like an inch away. Such a meanie. That's bullshit. Judge Hill's glad to suck that shit up, you know? And DOJ Hernandez, who's making $10,000 a year more than Judge Hill, she sucks that up and you all work together. Hey, why don't you tell me where the statements from Lucinda DeMay that Judge Hill used to take our kids and we impeached that bitch, and nobody's going back and say, well, apparently we have now lost one of two witnesses because she lied, okay? Oh, that doesn't change anything. No, I didn't think it would, okay? But you're all a bunch of scum, all right? And what you do is you mobilize more people against DHS in what you all do down there. Because it's like I got all these texts on my phone. I got all these messages on Facebook of all kinds of women talking about how you treat them. I did everything they asked me to do. They still haven't given my kids back because they're making money off it. How else are they going to come up with $102,000 a year in benefits for Lorelle Gould? Okay? How are they going to do it unless they're ripping off people's kids and making them jump through all kinds of hoops and keeping them as long as possible? Average time, 570 days in foster care. Okay? So every year and a half, they have to replace 5,000 to 6,000 to 7,000 kids. They have to rip off new ones so that you guys can all drive your cars and work in those stuffy little offices. All right? So when people come in to support my wife in the visits, in a building that she doesn't want to be in because she doesn't feel secure, and then you come in and reinforce the exact reason why she doesn't want to be in that building, and you start harassing her visitors, okay? You start to get it? Just knock the shit off, all right? It's incomprehensible. And I want to know where you're going to go in life after this. You know, mean-spirited, really lacking in class, okay? And these videos are to publicize to people what you do to my wife and the effect that has on her and her kids, okay? And they see it. Yep. I don't know very many people who don't despise CPS and what you people do. And it's been going on for years, what you do to families. There's just thousands of parents talking about it, tens of thousands of parents talking about it all over the U.S. The same little shitty deeds, okay? And I don't know what you produce. I don't know what value you could possibly have and go out on the street and get a job where you can't be busy throwing your weight around and tormenting mothers. And so my job is to make aware to other people how Lorelle Gould treats my wife and thus my kids who have been separated from Michu for almost 7 years, who she is and what she's up to, okay? Because people need to know what you do in your spare time, all right? And so, you know, you want to tell me, you want to send me letters, quit calling us all hoe-ass bitches. Well, try to act like a decent, respectable, kind-hearted human being and treat mothers with decency, and you might get upgraded to just bitches, you know? But try to do something. Try to show some sign that you have some compassion and some empathy for another human being. Try trading places with her. how you people have always treated her. You go up there and you lie like a carpet in the court, right? And like I say, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't shut up. And I don't play by their footsie little games. But, well, let's not do this because it strategically might not benefit us. And let's not do it like this. And, oh, we'll do that later. And, well, have you gotten this report? Yeah, no, but that's not really important. I don't work that way, okay? I'm going to tell you something. I worked in Thailand for 13 years. And I read the Queen of Thailand, the Riot Act. And I got her written up at the United Nations by the Special Rapporteur on Indigenous Issues, and it cost the Thai government millions of dollars to deal with the issue of their abuse of Hill Tribe people. And you're not shit.